Okay, so thank you so much for showing up to tonight's webinar. Today is Wednesday, April 20th, 2016. I just wanted to take a second first to do recognition, even though it's not Thursday, since our team calls are going to always be on Wednesday for the most part, unless something happens. I still want to do recognition for where people are at now. So let me pull that up real quick. So I'm going to start doing a couple of different, hey Brittany, it's nice to see you. So I'm going to let me turn off all my beeps and distractions. So I'm going to start doing a lot of different types of recognition, and I'm going to do it because I want you guys, like anything that you see me doing, just duplicate. That's really what's so great about this business is you don't have to reinvent yourself. You don't have to feel like you're like copying someone or whatever. Like it's very much okay to just like do the same thing because you're going to do it a little differently anyway, you know? So as far as stepping into like a leadership position, which is what you're going to have to do as a new coach, you know, that's something you're going to have to get used to. All I really did to decide to do that was to just kind of like look at what Amy was doing, and I still do that today. You know, I just kind of do what she does because she's successful and I trust her. And then, you know, everything else is just filling in the gaps with my, you know, doing my personal development and making sure I'm on my fitness journey and all of that good stuff. So recognition. Okay, thanks for muting yourself. Okay, so we're going to do Success Club recognition, and I'm going to talk a little bit about why Success Club is so important and how it can change your life forever. I'm just really thankful that we get to be a part of a company that makes things really easy, and we can easily measure our growth, and that's what Success Club is. It's just a measure of whether or not you're moving your business forward. So as long as you're hitting it, even if you don't feel like anything's happening, just make that a non-negotiable and you will move forward. So I want to, let's see, Brittany. Okay, so Brittany is at Success Club, Brittany Shook, I think that's how you say her last name, is at Success Club 2. And I'm going to do everyone in the downline. So let's see, Brittany. And so, let's see. Sorry, I'm using a Windows and I'm not used to it. Okay, and then we have some of the Limitless Lotus coaches in Brittany's team on the board with Success Club points. We have Kaylin at Success Club 4, super awesome. I know she's going to lock it in before the month ends. And then we also have, wow, okay, her coaches are doing really great. So good job, girls. Okay, I think I lied. Let's see. Current Success Club points. Yeah, okay. And then Success Club 2 is Anna Balza. I'm not even going to try that, but Anna, congrats for being at Success Club 2. There's still 10 days left in the month, so you have plenty of time to lock it in. And then Cassie, you're at Success Club 2, right? I'm just going to assume she is. And we'll do a more official recognition tomorrow because okay, I think that's it so far. If I missed you, I'm sorry. So yeah, and I'm at Success Club 6. So yeah. That's a recognition. I also wanted to give a shout out to Brittany for hitting Emerald and holding it, as well as her new coach, Kaylin, for hitting Emerald and holding it, and Cassie for hitting Emerald. So those are our 3 Emeralds on the team. Also, Brittany's husband is Emerald. She got him to Emerald. Yeah, I think that's it. So that's really awesome. Brittany's also a business starter, which means that she's helping her girls hit Success Club as well. We have a ton of new coaches on the team, so I actually wanted to take this time to not just talk at you, but like ask you guys questions about how you're feeling, because I think it's better if we interact with each other. Is it just you now, Carly? I think so. Okay. I don't know what happened. So I'm going to unmute you if you don't mind talking. Do you have
Okay.
any, I don't really know you very well, so it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Do you have any goals with the business, or what are your plans?
I'll probably pick it up more during the summer. I'm a teacher, so I have more time during June, July, and August to kind of really push. But I definitely want to hit Success Club, and my husband and I made a goal to get to Nashville next summer.
Oh, great. Okay, that's really awesome. That's a great goal. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about, and thank you for sharing that. So a little bit on Success Club and goals and how this business works, because I've been a coach for 2.5 years now. And I hear a lot from people saying, like, they have these plans of when they're going to work their business and when they're going to push hard. And so I just kind of want to clear up the air a little bit, that you don't have to be like completely crazy about the business and like only do that 24/7. But I think it's important that you know why you're doing it. So if you have a connection to, and I'm talking to like everyone right now, whoever watches the recording. So, and if you, as long as you have a really connection to like what you want from this, because it can give you a lot, and I don't have to convince you of that. I'm sure you've seen like other coaches and stuff. But I know from what I've found is that you do need to have a sense of urgency in this business, even if you're just like being consistent in the small things, like hitting Success Club. Mm-hmm. Hitting Success Club isn't a goal, and it's not like I want to or I hope to. It's you're either going to or you're not going, or you aren't. So, you know, like they always say, hope isn't a strategy, and it's totally true. You can decide if you're going to hit Success Club or not. And the great thing is about, even if you're a teacher or when I started my business, I was working 40 hours a week at a desk job. I couldn't really be on my phone except for my breaks. And I was in school full time, and I didn't have a car. So I was on the bus a lot, on transit, things like that. And I was in a new relationship. But it just goes to show that you can still do it. You know, you can still help 3 people a month. It's really easy. So my question is why aren't people doing that? I don't know how long you've been a coach. I'm not talking to you personally, but like what's stopping you? Because it's really easy to do. And if you're not hitting it, it's simply that you aren't talking to enough people every day. And it doesn't have to be a ton of people, but you can't expect to invite like 10 people and be like, okay, well, it didn't happen. I talked to them and they didn't respond to me. They don't have enough money. I guess I'm not going to hit Success Club. It's not how it works. Like, people aren't going to be ready. You know, you're going to have to follow up with people. And one thing I just wanted to touch on is it does take someone like 8 to 12 times to see something before they actually jump on it. So sometimes that means you might have to check in with someone 8 different times. Or maybe they see you on your Facebook, and because you're being consistent, the like 6th time you reach out to them 6 months later, they're ready to go and they're ready to jump on it. Yeah. That's why it's good to have a lot of people in your pipeline, because it's going to happen. People are going to say no. People aren't going to respond. So, what is your like mindset around Success Club now that you hear that?
That I want it.
That you want it? Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Because, so what are your goals as, like, what do you want in your life? Like your big, scary goals. Like, do you want to buy a house, a car, whatever it is? What is it?
Probably getting a house. I like where we live now, but when we have kids, we'll need more space.
So you want to buy a house. Okay.
Yeah.
So the cool thing about Beachbody is it's really taught me how to dream big. Sometimes I feel weird about like who I am, because I was just not like this at all 2 years ago. And Amy always told me, if you just make hitting Success Club a non-negotiable and do the 3 vital behaviors, you will completely change everything about your life, and you'll just be so much closer to success and fulfillment. And it's not all about like buying that house or, you know, buying that car. Like, there has to be something that's moving you and that's keeping you motivated. And so you also have to have not just a why, not just a big why of like what your goal is, but I think a why of like, why would you do that every day? You know, why would you stay up till, 2 a.m. on the weekends to hit your goals if you hadn't hit them yet? Like why would you do things like that? And it's different for everyone, so you have to have kind of like a personal connection with what you're doing, and it's going to make you want to do it even when you don't feel like doing it.
Okay.
So do you want to share what your why is? Like they always say your why makes you cry. If you guys want me to share what mine is first, I can totally do that. But I think it's fun to hear from you.
Yeah, if you want to share yours first, I'm still working on figuring out what mine is.
Okay. Yeah. So, and I think people can usually pull this out of themselves, and Brittany, this might help you with yours too. But so my why is like I got sober through health and fitness. I'd never been sober before. Like I've just always been using some kind of drug or alcohol. And so I turned to when I decided to get clean, it wasn't just like, oh, I'm going to stop drugs. It was like, I want to be a healthy person. And so it was a complete lifestyle change for me. And so I feel obligated. Like I feel like they say your gift, your job in life is to find your gift and to share it with other people. And that's your passion. And so I feel like I don't feel like coaching and helping people is really a choice that it was a choice I made, but at the same time, I just felt so called to do it. So I just feel very obligated to, I've been through a lot of stuff and I've overcome a lot of stuff, and it wasn't easy at all. And it took a lot of baby steps, but I just feel obligated to turn people onto a new way of thinking, and obligated to pay it forward to the girl who might still be suffering from where I was, because you can only keep what you have if you give it away. So that's deep stuff, and my whole life there's I can go into my childhood stuff and how I felt and how I always felt like something was wrong with me. And I realized that I was just different, and that's okay, so that's what mine is, and that keeps me going.
I guess really the reason why I started even using Beachbody products, because I had the beginning stages of IBS, and I really didn't want to have to go through more doctor's appointments. So I signed up, and then I really wanted to help more people not have to deal with all those symptoms.
Yeah. So that's huge. That's your story, and that's so great. And I suffered, Shakeology was the reason I became a coach, really, before I figured out what I was doing, and and why I wanted to do this. But there's a huge demand for that. And so many people have food issues or digestive issues. So, and you can even dig a little bit deeper into why you're doing it. To me, I think it has a lot to do with feeling confident and feeling like you're worth more than what average life has to offer. I just feel like being a coach isn't very average. You have the opportunity to create something else.
Agreed.
Yeah. So, okay, I'll just I'll talk a little bit more about so just a little bit about what you should do as a new coach, and a little bit about the 3 vital behaviors. So right off the bat, whether you're working the business super hard or not, it's really important to get to Emerald. So you should be asking yourself these questions. Am I doing the things I need to be doing every single day? Am I doing the 3 vital behaviors? And the thing that's so great about that is they're really things that you should be doing anyway as part of self-care for yourself. So it's not an extra, to me, it doesn't feel like a job. So the 3 vital behaviors, again, is reading at least 10 minutes of personal development every day. And I usually start my morning with that. Drinking Shakeology every day and being proof that the products work, which is so cool that part of our job is to work out and to get results. and to constantly be like trying new things and figuring out what's going to work for our body. And it might not be easy. It might not happen right away. So, and then inviting. And so I think people struggle a lot with inviting, because I see people post like in our team on social media. Everyone's really great about posting, you know, about the challenge group or like sharing what they're doing, and everyone's social media is really great. And there's a couple of pieces that are important about it to kind of like reframe maybe how some people look at inviting. Through doing that, and like sometimes it is uncomfortable, because sometimes I feel like someone, you know, I do think about what people are going to say sometimes, and not like worrying about that so much, I've been able to, you know, like I get rejected a lot every single day, and I'm kind of addicted to it, because it's I don't know, it's really helped me grow, you know, to be like, to have someone say, no, I don't want to do that. To have someone say, no, that's a pyramid scheme. No, I would never do that. No, it's, you know, I mean, usually people are really nice, but sometimes they're not. And it's something about that is really just, I guess made me more resilient and made me just feel like I can do anything in my life. So I try not to overthink it anymore. And I try to think about like how much it could change someone's life. And so I just knock them out. Like I just do it. So I know a lot of people on the team had questions about like cold inviting. And so talking with a couple of you, I realized that there's like whenever something's not happening, if people aren't hitting Success Club, it's because they aren't doing one of the 3 vital behaviors. And it's kind of like your diet, you know, like if you go to a personal trainer, or even if you guys are talking to a prospect and they're like telling you, you know, they're in your challenge group and they're telling you that they aren't losing weight, that they're doing the workouts and they're using the containers and nothing's happening and they're just not losing any weight. Well, most of the time, I mean, it could be like stress or lack of sleep, or, you know, some kind of like hormonal or vitamin issue or something like that. But a lot of the times people aren't, and I know for me, I was like this, a lot of the times people just aren't being super honest with what they're eating. You know, they might be like not recording everything if you were to look at everything they've been eating, and maybe having like, you know, ice cream, you know, 2 days a week, or like pizza every Saturday. Like there might be things that they're not telling you, and you know that they're like, that can't, you know that there's got to be something more than what you see. So it's kind of like inviting is kind of like that. So you have to really ask yourself, and I had to like really take a look at what I wanted from this. And I'm still not like, I'm not super successful, you know, like as a team, we're in the top 1,500, which is really cool. There's 430,000 teams. Somehow we managed to get in the top 1,000, or, you know, 1,500. So that's a really cool thing. And at first I was like, oh, well, you know, we have so far to go, but like a lot of people don't ever get there. And so we've done that together, and that was just from me, like deciding that I was going to step away from this giant team and hit Success Club every month and not ever miss a month, and recruit coaches. And so like, that's what's happening. And so back to inviting, I just think that, you know, I had to do that to myself. I had to ask myself, like, am I really talking to as many people as I think I am? Because if you're actually talking to enough people every single day, you're going to hit your goals. Sometimes there might be something like, so I know people have a question about cold inviting. So we always post scripts in the group and everything. It's totally okay to cold invite someone. You know, I usually like look at their Facebook a little bit, and I just pull off something. I pick up something that they're posting. You know, I use my brain and my common sense. And I'm like, hey, like, that looked like a really good brunch. I've never been to that restaurant. Or I wish we had something like that here where I lived. So I know this is really random, but I wanted to ask you, I have a team of coaches, and I think you might be a really good fit we're starting a new training group. We're really passionate on May 2nd. We're really passionate about living fulfilling lives and paying it forward. Would you by chance want more details on it? So, and then what happens is once you get your email, you go through the steps, which are all in Team Hear Me Roar. Then what happens is then you start to build the relationship with them. So a lot of people are like worried that they have to like, you know, really have a relationship and like form them before they feel comfortable to like ask them out. Sometimes you just like have to ask someone for their number, and then you get to know them like better on the first date. And then you can like see, you know, give a little time before you call back. Sometimes if they don't respond right away, give it a couple of days and then follow up with them. So if you're watching this recording, there is so much value in following up with people. And if you're talking to a lot of people, the other thing, this is kind of like a roadmap. Have you seen those things where it's like, you know, are you getting enough sleep? Yes or no? And then you follow this little square and it's like, yes or no. And then it tells you like, you know, you follow the lines and it tells you what the solution is. This call is kind of like that. So if you're inviting enough people and you're sending out like 5 or 10 cold invites and you're shooting people emails using the 5-step script and you're still not hitting Success Club, then you probably aren't doing follow-ups. So I usually try to do like I just go through my inbox, and if someone hasn't responded in a couple of days, or sometimes I let it go like 5 days or a week, or I go back to last month to everyone who hasn't purchased anything or signed up, and I check in with them and I say, hey, because you never know, like someone might be going through, before I became a coach, like, I don't know, I was like in the middle of anxiety and depression, and I just wouldn't even think about being able to do something like this. So you just might not have caught someone at a good moment, and you following up with them is going to be like the best favor to them. And I know with like other like programs and things that I've looked into, or like doing like retreats and stuff, when someone follows up with me, I feel like I matter, and I really appreciate that, because it's like, oh, they remembered me and they wanted to check back to see if I still wanted to do their thing. And I don't feel like they just want my money. I'm like, oh, you know, they could have just been way too busy to even check on me. And I like it. And most people do. So yeah, I don't know. I just think that, let's see, following up, yeah, there's just so much to learn. And if I remember when I first signed up just feeling like I didn't know everything, which is normal, right? You're not going to know everything at once. So if you can just kind of like, you're going to have to be really good at not letting yourself get distracted and not letting yourself go down like that rabbit hole of like learning things you don't need to know yet. So in the beginning, like it's like, it's like, just be like, you know, I'm going to read this book. I'm going to read this book right here because I need help. I'm going to make a list of all the people I can invite, and I'm going to invite these people. And then if that doesn't work out, I'm going to keep building my network and inviting more people. And it's like, okay, I'm going to use these scripts because this is what's in the like Evernote training. So just look at a couple of things, and then, okay, like this is my program I got the 21-day fix or whatever. I'm just going to drink this Shakeology every day and do my program and share about it. And you don't really have to worry about the rest. And the rest is just staying open and not being closed-minded, just being open to learning things and being teachable. So one thing that I think that has made, like, the reason that I've been a little bit more successful than some coaches is because I was hungry. You know, I wanted to know, I wanted to learn things. And so once I could kind of prove that I was willing to be consistent in the basics, then I would, if I felt stuck, or if I was like, dang, I don't know, like I'm doing, you know, and I know that Cassie has reached out to me and she's so good at this. She's like, okay, this is what I'm doing. I'm doing all these things and this is what I want. And I just feel frustrated because it's not happening. And then, so, you know, put yourself out there and, you know, put yourself out there and learn to like enjoy criticism or advice. And that's what I always did. Like I did that with Amy, or just really utilizing our team group, our team page, and being like, hey, what is you know, like, how do you do this? Or, so being teachable, being open, not being like, sometimes talking to Amy, and any of you guys can talk to me at any time, even if you're not my personally sponsored coach, but sometimes I was like intimidated by asking her things because I didn't want to seem dumb. But I had to really check my ego and get over that and be like, I don't care if she thinks I sound dumb. I don't care about any of that, because ultimately I know it's going to make me better, and I'm going to like maybe not ask that question again or whatever. And then the other thing is you want to make sure you're being resourceful. So this business is super simple. And if you have a question about anything, the first place you should go is Google. If you want to know, like, maybe I mentioned something when I was talking that you aren't sure of. So like the 5-step invite script, if you haven't heard of that, it's in the Evernote training, which is also in the file section of Team Hear Me Roar. So here's how it goes when you are trying to find something. And you're a teacher, so you should be really good at this. One of our top coaches, Melanie Mitro, she was a teacher, and she's just so incredible. She just has so many skills that so many of us are jealous of, because she just, you know, she's that teacher mentality, and she's so good at building a team and being organized and teaching other people how to do it. And I'm getting better at it, but if you have a question, you know, you go to Google first. And so, because that's like your best chance. And so you can just Google 5-step invite Beachbody. Any question you have, if you put Beachbody after it, it's going to be on there. Even if it's kind of like, I was catching myself feeling like, man, I feel like my Instagram followers aren't growing as quickly. I'm like, that sucks. And I was like, what am I doing? I'm like, okay, how do I get more Instagram followers? How do I take, what kind of photos get the most likes? And I just started Googling stuff. And I'm like, I need to remember to always be a student at the same time. So ask Google, and YouTube is really great. So if you Google something, or you can just be like, how to get to Emerald with Beachbody, and there will be a YouTube video on it. I've watched training from different coaches. No one keeps any tools that have made anyone become successful. They're all accessible online and on YouTube, which is so cool. And so I've watched, you don't want to go down the rabbit hole too much of YouTube videos, but if you really need help with recruiting or what to say, you can Google what to say to invite someone to your challenge group and watch a YouTube video on it and take notes and then try it out. Because the only way you're going to get good at something is if you practice it over and over and over and over again, not just a couple of times a month. You'll never know. You'll never be able to reassess what you need to work on if you're just kind of doing it once in a while, just like your workouts. You're not going to know what's working, what's not. So the second thing you can do is there's a Beachbody FAQ. So frequently asked questions. Just Google Beachbody FAQ and you can search through the forums. And so if you have questions about how to earn your trip to Nashville, and what Success Starters is, or if you have questions about what Success Club is, or maybe you have a question about Beachbody on Demand and it's a detailed one, everything is on there. It's very unlikely that you'd actually have to post and set your soul on fire, or Team Hear Me Roar. Usually what that would be is what I always post are things like, where would I find this? Or what would you guys do in this situation? Getting human opinions that you can't get anywhere else, real time. Or I'm feeling this way, or what have you guys done when this happened? What should I do? What personal development should I do? Or sharing what works. So I really want to challenge you, if you're watching this, to step up as a leader in our page on Team Hear Me Roar, because that's really going to help our culture and our community and grow so that we can all become more successful and help one another. So if you are a new coach, you're the most important person in our group. And so if you can share what you're doing, that's going to help other people know what steps they need to be taking and can kind of link arms with you or just feed off of that energy. So it's really important that you decide that you're going to be a leader and start sharing things that work. And if someone asks a question, don't just look at it, Google it for them, post a link to the FAQ, be Don't spend all your time like helping other people in our group, but put yourself in that position to be a leader. Eventually, I'm going to have people within our team start hosting webinars when we have more people. And so you want to, put yourself in that position, because the best way to learn something is to teach it, is what I found. So a lot of the times, like Amy asked me to host a webinar for Set Your Soul on Fire on something that I didn't really know a lot about, or that I used to really suck at. And so she made me talk about it. But I was like, I said yes to signing up for that, because I know if I put myself in a position that I have the chance to grow, even if it's scary, then I'm going to do it. And it really has paid off. So yeah, I just think that this is the best thing in the world. And you don't have to be like, Beachbody doesn't have to be your life. Like I always say that, like you can be multi-passionate. Like I'm very passionate about a lot of things, but what this does is, through going through recovery and things like that, the idea of like being accountable to another person and relying on one another is just something I feel like we've gotten so far away from as humans. And that's what I think so great about our company, is that we're kind of bringing that back. And I think that's what's going to help end the trend of obesity. And not to mention, like, all the different like gains that we can get in our lives and inspire other people to do the same. I just think it's a really special opportunity, and I don't want to hold anyone else's destiny in my mouth just because I was afraid to ask them to do this. So I don't know if you have any questions, but that's really all I had. Okay. Well, thanks so much for jumping on, and I will post the recording in the group, but I hope everyone has a good night.